I love math, the way the path goes on the graph, power functions. Cause great discussion in the math class, shall put no textbook before the math class. Functions real radical and very graphical. That's the way it goes in the math class, some of the real bros.
Hey guys, let's go over quiz number 5, taken on February 27th, 2025. Multiple choice, write the 0 that corresponds to the factor. So this one is a factor, and you would just set it equal to 0. To make it become a 0, you get x equals 5. So remember, that means that x equals 5 and x minus 5, those represent the same location right there. So that would be choice C. Number 2, given x minus 2, write the factor that corresponds to each 0. So remember, this is a 0. Notice there is not set equal to 0, so let's go ahead and do that. X plus 2 equals 0. And if you want to, you don't have to, but you can put parentheses around it to make you feel a little more confident about it. So that would be choice A. Number 3 here says factor completely. Now you have two terms. So if you look at your chart, it tells you that you can use the difference of squares, or you can use the sum and difference of cubes. So if you take the cube root of each of those, this can come out and this can come out. So that would just be 2p. 2p to the third power. And then the cube root of 1 is just 1. Okay, that means this is going to be our a value and b value. Write down the formula. ab, a squared, ab, b squared. And then here, this is where you're going to use your SOAP. So that would be same as this one, so plus. Opposite of that is minus, and then always positive. And then you're going to put in your substitution. Now, this one's going to be a little bit tricky. And I highlighted that one specifically because it has a coefficient. So that would be 2p plus 1. Okay, you have to do a second set of parentheses. So that one's going to become 2p plus 1, 4p squared, right? Because that means 2p times 2p minus 2p plus 1. This is my answer, and so that one matches up with C. Okay, this is called the Ken. So again, if you don't know how to do this one, look on my YouTube channel. Ken. Okay, probably the number one mistake if you're not getting this is there's no negatives. And you're only using the numbers 1 to 3. They cannot repeat in the same row or column. Okay, so let's, here's a cage in red. My two numbers there are, it can't be 2 and 2 because I would be repeating, so I'm going to try 3 and 1. Now as you do this, you can erase things, that's okay. And usually with these corner cages here in yellow, I have to think of 3 numbers that add up to be 4. Often they are repeating numbers in the edges, so 1, 1, 2. Now, if you look at my red box, you'll see that it's repeating, so you can just switch these. It's not bad. My two numbers up here, and let's call this the green. Well, going across, there are 2 and 1, so I just have to write 3. And then going down would be missing a 2. Then you can just fill in your numbers and then double check that it matches. Okay, let's go to the back side. Number 5. 1, 2, 3, 4 terms. So we're going to put that into a box there. X to the third minus 3x squared minus 4x plus 12. So if you figure out GCF, and this one has none because they don't all have an x or another number in common. The other one is count the number of terms. Count number terms. Okay, now we're thinking of stuff on the outside. So this one has an x. So I'm just going to write 1x here. But this one has an x squared, and this will also be an x squared. Remember, if you write that out, you can see it. So I'm going to do an x squared out here. That was a common mistake. And then just finish the rest. So that'd be minus 3. And this would be a minus 4. X minus 3, x squared minus 4. There you're going to add a 0x. And then over here, you can probably factor this one again. A, B, C. A times C is negative 4. My B value is 0. My two numbers are going to be 2 and negative 2. So x minus 3, x minus 2, x plus 2. And that would be my answer. Okay, so I gave you 3.5 points if you did x squared minus 4, x minus 3. Now, I gave you 3.75 if you did x plus 2, x minus 2, and then x minus 3, and you try to solve. Remember, that's wrong. You don't set it equals 0 because this one says factor. That was a common mistake. Okay, number 6, we're going to see if there's a GCF. You can break this up. So they only have an x in common. So my x is, and then you just write what you don't have. X fourth plus 2x squared plus 48. Okay, this is 3 terms, and half of 4 is 2. So now we can use our x in our box. You should only use your x in our box and your a value is 1, but this problem with the 4th power, I recommend doing it all. So there's your a times c is 48, b value is 2. It's going to be 8 and 6. Two numbers that multiply, but add, so that one of these has to be, oops, made a mistake up here, I can see it. Should be a negative. That means this one. Okay, so 2x squared is split between that. So I'm going to write 8x squared negative 6x squared. The underline here is x to the 4th and then negative 48. I'm going to get x squared. This one's going to be 8. This is going to be negative 6. So you have x squared minus 6, x squared plus 8. This is my answer for factoring. Okay, to solve that, you just set each of them equal to 0. So that's an answer. I'm going to add 6 to both sides. Square root x squared equals, remember, plus or minus radical 6. Oops, that was out there. this one's a little bit tricky. Subtract the 8. You're going to have the plus or minus square root of -1, 4 times 2. So the square root of -1 is I, square root of 4 is 2, and then the other 2 stays inside. So let's count your number of solutions. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and that represents our 5th degree polynomial. We'll see you guys later. Bye.
Yeah, I love doing math. You love doing math. We love doing math. Let's all do math. 'Cause we love doing math.